Hello, Katie Hunt here, wishing you a very happy holiday season. I hope that this time has been joyous, filled with food and love and laughter, and that you're just cruising right into the end of the year. Can you believe that we are in the last couple days of the decade? So I thought it to be the perfect time for us to do a somewhat brief 2020 overview. Boo, boo, boo. So this energy feels very different from 2019. We had the solstice that happened on December 21st. That was rough. That gateway opened or closed, and I felt awful. I don't know how you guys felt, but it was like there was these last lingering things that kind of had to go and clear out so that I could fully step into this 2020 energy. This 2020 energy does feel, I personally, so far so good. I very much enjoy it. So I thought it time to dig into a little bit, do a little bit of channeling to see what awaits us in 2020. The first thing that I would like to talk about is that we are going into a brand new year. So this is the perfect time for you to let things go. Let things go that do not serve you, and let things go that really just cannot come with you in 2020. These can be things as simple as little tiny habits that you have that you know don't really serve you, or it can be something big like, I don't know, some sort of big decision that you need to make. But just take some time as we're winding down this year and start dreaming about 2020. What does that vision actually look like? And then work back from there. What are things that need to go in order for you to fulfill that fantasy of 2020? With that being said, a big part of that letting go is letting go of the BS that you tell your mind. The things that you tell yourself that you are not worthy of, and the things that somewhat kind of feel good, those stories that you tell yourself to make yourself feel better, to justify someone else's behavior or to justify your own behavior. It's actually time to let all of that bullshit go, because that is bullshit, and 2020 will not have it, and it will not allow you to get away with any of that stuff. So as you go through these next couple of days, notice the dialogues that are going on in your head and know the ones that need to go, because most of them are probably filled with negative garbage that you just don't need to bring with you. It's that negative self-talk, the why me's, the victimhood. If you have had a traumatic experience that is still dragging you down, get help with it, but don't allow yourself to identify as the victim in that sense, because that energy brings you down and attracts more of that type, and it actually takes away your power in the situation. That doesn't mean that we condone whatever happened to you, but we're just asking you to do the work, to move forward, to move through that, so that that doesn't limit you anymore. So you can go on to 2020 with this fresh perspective, and that you can accomplish the things that you are here to do. You can't have those stories dimming your light anymore. That cannot happen. So 2020, lots to do with freedom. Freeing ourselves of the stories that we've just discussed, but also freeing ourselves from the shackles that which we have created in our own lives. Where are the shackles that you have put on yourself in your life? Where are the shackles that you believe others have put onto you? That is another trap, because we all have a choice, and you may think that that person made your life a certain way, but you do have the power in your life to change it. So it's really just observing all of that stuff, and then you will begin to see all of the areas that you actually are trapping yourself, and that can be a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay, because you have help and you have the possibilities to change it. And the first step in changing anything is to bring attention and awareness to it. So focus on freedom. This isn't something that's necessarily going to happen overnight, but this energy of this new decade is really going to be bringing a lot of enlightenment, a lot of awareness to these areas that we are stuck, and we need to let things go, and we need to free ourselves. And there's this energy that comes first that helps you to become aware of it, but then this beautiful information will come, and this inspiration will come that you can actually take the steps in order to free yourself from the shackles. So if at first it seems like too much, it might just not be time for you to act yet. It's just time for you to be aware of the places that you're trapping yourself. This kind of pairs beautifully into the next part, which is questioning everything. So questioning everything, questioning the things that you believe, questioning the things that you've allowed yourself to create in your life, the things that you've allowed yourself to continue in your life, the relationships that you like, the limitations that you place on yourself, the places that you choose to live, the work that you do, just questioning everything. And there doesn't necessarily have to be something wrong, or there doesn't need to be a fix, but sometimes it's just about giving yourself a little bit of credit, like, oh my gosh, I've actually accomplished so much stuff. And I don't give myself enough credit for this. I need to become more aware of this. Why don't I give myself more credit for this? Or sometimes it is, I'm in the wrong career and this just is not for me at all, and I cannot continue in this world. So whatever that is, whatever it is that's going on in your life, whatever draws your focus, just ask questions. And these are really good times to have conversations, even with your loved ones, not about anything super in particular, but just talking about life and talking about the life that you've created and questioning things. And why does our society build up a society in this sense or in this way? Or why do we make decisions in this way? Like, question everything, because right now it's about collecting information and it's about the awareness. Okay, enough of that. Realignment. So there's a big realignment focus on refocusing happening. The realignment does come as a result of this questioning, because you're making space for that realignment to happen, because you're kind of pointing out the things that are out of alignment. Why have I allowed that person to remain in my life? Why have I allowed this neighbor to continue to do this when it drives me nuts? Just focusing on just being more aware and more present in your life will allow this realignment to happen. This is happening for everybody. There's a big solar realignment for everyone, because we need to be moving forward. We're moving forward to a higher vibration. We're moving forward to a place of love. And we can't continue to do that if we're stuck in these stories and stuck in this third dimensional reality box that we've placed ourselves in. So allow the solar realignment to happen. And that's the thing, is that spiritual development now is not about you going and seeking things out. It never really was. But now more than ever, these lessons and this growth will come right to you. You don't have to go out seeking it. You don't have to go out and try to grow or try to move forward spiritually or try to realign with your soul. It's simply about an intention and participating in your life. Human life is a spiritual experiment, really. So participate in the human life and be more present and more aware and more questioning of what's going on around you. That helps you to become a more conscious being, which increases your vibration, which allows the solar realignment to happen very beautifully. So this pattern recognition is also a big part of the questioning. So recognizing where there's patterns in your life that are not serving you. This is the inner dialogue, the patterns that we go through in our minds about, he did this, this means this, I'm garbage, whatever that story is that goes on in your head. It's recognizing those patterns and when those thoughts and stories are triggered, but it's also about understanding the patterns of the relationships that you have in your life and also the patterns that you have just on an annual basis. What are you like in the summertime versus the winter time? Do you hide out in certain times of the year over others? It's just about bringing awareness to it and understanding where the pattern is. And again, the first part comes this awareness piece. Then much later, the insight and inspiration will come. And then once that comes, then you can take action to end the pattern. A lot of the time though with these patterns, it is about recognizing that there is a problem there. And sometimes depending on who the pattern is with, it's as simple as having the conversation and bringing light to it. And the other person is like, oh my gosh, yeah, we are stuck in this pattern and I agree, I think we should end it. So then the next time you start to fall into the pattern, you can both identify it and change the course. Or if that person is not as receptive as you want them to be, then at least you can have that insight and information in your head that, oh, we're going down this path again. It's time for me to correct this boat. It's like, let's turn the boat around and I will take ownership of this and try to do it. So some patterns are easier than others to overcome and to fix. And some of them are just here for a little bit longer, but they're just kind of calling out for your attention. The point of this, though, is to not bang your head against the wall trying to fix something. So you can try different things, but listen, if things are not easy and breezy, sometimes it's because it's just not supposed to work. Sometimes your best move is just step back and let go and allow whatever needs to play out, which is a very tough thing for us to do, I understand. But surrender is its own spiritual practice, and it's important to do sometimes. The quote that has been so important to me the last few months is, suffering is necessary until it isn't anymore. So that is a butchered version of the quote by Eckhart Tolle. And it's basically talking about that suffering is great because it points out where there's misalignments or there's a problem or there are things that need your attention. But it's not something that you need to endure forever or for very long. It's enough for you to understand that there's a problem and to wake you up so that you make the change and that you move forward from it. Life is about joy. We are here to experience joy and peace. So if you are not feeling peaceful, there are things that you need to do to work on that so that you can come into alignment with that. And peace doesn't always stay. I mean, sometimes it's here just for a fleeting moment, but our lives, I think we've created, are way more complicated and or more difficult than they need to be. And so maybe begin to question that. How can I bring more joy and peace into my world? And then notice the stories that are coming up. Oh, it's because this happened to me. It's because I'm depressed. I have all of these reasons why that's not available to me. Well, why isn't that available to you? Just starting to question and understand, be a little philosopher in your own world, because nobody really knows what they're talking about, but you know what's true for you and what's best for you. And you know that you feel good when you're in joy and when you're at peace. How is that wrong? I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, it is possible. Truth and clarity. Truth has been, things coming to the light have been has really been a thing the last couple of years, with the Me Too movement, with the technological age. Now, it's easier, it's easier to talk about other issues that perhaps were very hush-hush before. There are people who are coming out more regularly and more easily than they used to. It's a bit of a more receptive culture in like some respects. But this truth and clarity is not going to go anywhere. We have this opportunity to share information and to understand things that are on the other side of the world through the internet. And this technological age has brought to us this incredible ability to connect and to share. And this is beautiful because it'll help you to bring awareness to things that are not okay in your world. Self-awareness is a big part of this truth. It's being honest and truthful about where you are and where you contribute to the issues that you see in the world. How are you feeling about the state of the environment? How do you feel about the government? How do you feel about how animals are being treated? How do you feel about relationships and what they look like in 2019? Looking at the things in the world that you have a problem with, but then understanding and being truthful and honest with yourself about where it is that you're contributing to the things that are wrong in the world, and not beating yourself up about it, but being truthful and honest and reflective about the things that you're doing to contribute to these things that you see as a problem. And where is it that maybe you can correct a little bit? For instance, if you have a problem with the way that the environment is, maybe it's time for you to do some research and to switch to only organic, natural cleaning products. And then maybe the next step is facial, like soaps and stuff like that. Maybe it's a naturalizing your house. And then it's about, even going as far as changing your clothes and not buying fast fashion anymore, but just being truthful and honest with yourself about where you are. This truth and honesty and clarity is also this desire to share our truth, whether that's being honest with our loved ones about how we're feeling and where we're at, or it's about sharing our truth with the world and bringing light to things that we're passionate about that we believe need to change, or things that need to be shared. It's about sharing our truth in that sense as well. And it's also a great time for you to feel that love and support, for you to share things that maybe you've been sitting on for a while that maybe need to be shared. Do you have a confession you need to get off your chest? Do you have a secret that you need to share? Have you been lying about something? This would be an excellent time if you want to control the narrative of something that you would hate to get out there, then this may be the time to share it, because 2020 will not really allow you to shove it under the bed anymore. This energy will come and it will kind of expose those things to the light. And that is sometimes just energetically, but sometimes it's just a compulsion to share something out of the blue, or sometimes it's just about, a book falling off the shelf and inside of it is the picture that you're trying to hide, kind of thing. Truth can sometimes be really hard to share, and it can also be very hard to hear, but it's only temporary. And you will find that once you shared your truth, that you do feel some sense of relief, and that once it's out in the open, that you can let it kind of simmer there for a little bit, and then you can take steps to fix whatever the truth is that you needed to share. Alternatively, if you're on the other end and you're receiving a really tough truth, it's better to know the truth than to be lied to, honestly. And you do grow from it. It is this heart expanding experience where you become more connected in with yourself, especially when you're able to move through it and come out on the other side and try to understand from their perspective why they may have done that, and then have love and compassion for the other person again. That is such a spiritually growth-worthy experience. So 2020 will bring huge truth and clarity, the compulsion, the need to share your truth, to be honest with people in your life. But it's also a time for us to take the truths that are being shared with us and what can we learn from that experience, and to not allow ourselves to go into victimhood about it, but to allow ourselves to move through it gracefully and grow from it and allow it to expand us on the inside. I have to say, I've been going through a lot of truth in the last year for sure, and I feel completely different now on the inside, and it's very hard to even describe it, but I feel stronger and I feel less afraid of life in general, because some of the truths that you hear, they seem like your worst nightmare, and then you hear it and it's okay and you're alive. So face your fears and trust that other people can hear your truths, because the people in your life may be stronger than you think they are. So give them a chance, do it with love and hope for the best. And don't try to force anybody to talk to you after you share a truth. Allow them to have time to heal and to evolve and to come to you on their own. To summarize all of these high points of 2020, we are coming into a higher state of love. All of this stuff that we've discussed is putting us at a higher level, a higher frequency, a more receptive place where we're able to align more with love and away from the fear and the hate that has been running this planet forever. So this is about heart expansion, and this is about love. So enjoy this time. I hope you very much enjoy this year and that you make the absolute most of it, and just be the philosopher in your own life and just be observing and go into it knowing that you do have support with your guides and from the universe and from people like me who are here to share and to serve, and that you're not alone out there. We've all got stuff, and no matter how happy people are, they always have stuff going on underneath. So taking the time for some little extra kindness every day, it will go a long way. So be the change that you want to see in the world, and go out there and just enjoy and live your life and align more with joy and peace. And that's a lot of things, I know, but ultimately your life is about joy. And so if you're not enjoying your life, it's time to understand why so that you can make those shifts. I am sending you a tremendous amount of love. I hope 2020 brings you an abundance of blessings and gifts and so much love. And if you need some assistance transforming in some way, please reach out to me. My email is thejourneytospirit@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I am an intuitive coach and healer and meditation instructor. So I have a whole heck of a lot of tools that I'm just dying to share with you. So reach out and please let me know what you think below in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. I so do appreciate it. It's the reason why I'm doing this is because of you. So letting me know that you're here really does help. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. I'm sending you so much love.